Hey, it's Chelsea. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, we are talking all about Pluto and the major transformations that are taking place both individually and collectively. So Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius now. We are in it, but we're just getting a little glimpse, a taste of what the next 20 years of this transit is going to be bringing into our lives, both individually and collectively. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has been booking readings with me. I really enjoy connecting with you and just diving deeper into the stars. So this video is going to be structured a little bit differently than usual. I usually like to have so many charts pulled up, but I've done a deep dive and I've typed pages and pages of information about this transit. I'll put that on my blog. So if you want dates, specifics, you can go there for that. In this video, I really just want to be talking from my heart about this transit. I'm heavily ruled by Pluto. My sun squares Pluto in my charts. Both of my parents had Scorpio stelliums. They're Scorpios with a lot of Scorpio placements. My brother's a Scorpio moon. So I grew up in a household of just heavy scorpionic energy. My draconic chart, I have my sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, all in Scorpio. So that is my soul. I'm just a heavily Plutonic, Scorpionic soul. And so this is an energy that I love working with because it is highly transformational. And it also reveals so many hidden treasures because Scorpio, Pluto, it's the unseen. It's things that are hidden beneath the surface of everything, that is where we find just wealth and just deep in the depths. So this is an energy that I really love to work with and that I have been forced to understand for better or worse. And so, yeah, in this video, I'm just going to be talking from my heart. So as I mentioned, this is just a glimpse of what the next 20 years is going to be bringing. And it's really fascinating to already be able to see these transformations taking place. So it was when Pluto entered the sign of Aquarius, when we started hearing about, how the BRICS nations, China, Russia, South Africa, how all of these different countries are going to be abandoning the petrodollar. They're no longer going to have to exchange their currency to the American dollar in order to purchase oil. And so we're going to be seeing a big restructuring happening within the dollar. And this week, the first week of April, is the big rollout of the Fed Now program, which is just the initiation of just the fully electronic payment, completely removing the dollar. And so please ignore this light. I just ordered a new light. So anyway, there's a lot of karma that's able to be cleared right now. That's something that is just coming through to me so clearly. And so Pluto is the depths, right? That's just going so deep beneath the surface of the earth, the surface of ourselves, going deeper into our soul. And as we're journeying deeper into ourselves, as above, so below, it's like this simultaneous spiral that's happening. It's going upwards and it's also going into the depths. And it's as we go deeper into ourselves and into our karma, into our cycles, into our patterns, and as we truly understand ourselves and connect to all of these hidden aspects within ourselves, our shadows, then it's simultaneously there's this elevation that's going to be happening. And it's overall just this big expansion that's taking place. So if you have any fixed placements, the fixed signs being Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, especially in the beginning degrees of the sign, Pluto's only going to be getting up to 0 degrees. And then it's going back into the sign of Capricorn. So it's this reworking that's happening is happening in the very early degrees of Aquarius. And then this is also where the nodes, the North Node in Taurus, the South Node in Scorpio, they're now at 3-4 degrees. And so when Pluto stations retrograde May 23rd, Pluto and the nodes are going to be traveling backwards into the cardinal signs together. So this transformation that's taking place is starting off in the fixed signs, very early degrees of the fixed signs, and then it's moving into the end degrees of the cardinal signs being Capricorn, Cancer, and then the nodes as well, Libra and Aries. So the nodes are going to be moving backwards from Taurus into Aries and from Scorpio into Libra. And so this is all coinciding. It's happening along with this initial ingress of Pluto into Aquarius, and the first time when we're going to experience it back in the sign of Capricorn, June 11th, after getting that taste of Pluto in Aquarius. And so pay attention to the houses in your chart. Like if you have fixed placements in those early degrees, the fixed signs likely will be feeling this on a very personal level, as well as the cardinal signs at the end degrees will likely be feeling this at a very personal level. And you probably already have been feeling this because Pluto has been at the end degrees of Capricorn for quite some time now. So this is a really big opportunity to clear karma. So this initial ingress of Pluto into Aquarius is really impacting the nodes, and it's going to play a large role in the eclipse season as well. So the first Aries eclipse is going to be at 29 degrees of Aries, solar eclipse, and Pluto is going to be square this new moon eclipse. And so it's like, even though it's the first of these series of eclipses, it's like it's happening at the very end of this, at the end degrees of this sign, Pluto is going to be square. So it's like this big transformation that's taking place. And so it's like things are being cleared out, things are being released, things are ending, but simultaneously there's all these new beginnings and these new cycles happening. So what we're really immersed in right now is like this strange energy of just so many full circle, just completions taking place, like lifetimes. I really do believe that lifetimes of karma can be cleared right now. But so May 20th or 21st, Mars enters the sign of Leo. And so I think this is going to be a really intense time mid-May, the last like 10 days or so of May, and also leading up to that. This is going to be a really intense time because we're going to have the two co-rulers, co-dispositors of the South Node in Scorpio. They're going to be opposed one another while they're creating a fixed cross with the North Node and South Node. And so, I mean, Mars, it severs energy, it cuts things off, it's sharp, it's action, it can be aggression too. And then when we look at, because Mars was the initial ruler of Scorpio before Pluto was discovered. And so Pluto and Mars together, I mean, this is really, it's like this test. Like, I don't want to say it's a final test, but there's really some sort of fated, karmic, this light again, 1 second. Oh my God, sorry. This light is triggering me. But anyway, so there's just like this fated karmic, it's like the last year and a half, because the nodes change signs about every year and a half, right? And so it's like everything that we have come to understand about our life and about just our past and what we're moving away from, what we need to release, like our karma, and then also like what we want to be moving towards. And well, no, really focusing on the scorpionic aspect of it. It's like, I just feel like it's like this forbidden fruit kind of energy. Like something's going to be coming up that's going to be so tempting, I feel, for many of us. And it's like, it's like going to be a fated karmic event of some sort. I don't know what. And I think this is going to be really big collectively, especially with the nodes involved. But so when you look at the nodes, that's going to be an interesting time that may, like leading up to Pluto stationing retrograde, that's going to be a big time. And I think like once it like stations, because that's when you kind of feel these big planetary shifts the most, when they're changing directions. And so it's going to be like, it's going to be a big, I don't even know. It's going to be intense. This fixed cross. And when you look at fixed signs, they're reluctant to change. They're not going to change unless they absolutely have to, unless they're forced to. And so, I mean, many of us could be faced with like a fork in the road type decision that we have to make, like a crossroads, like having to make a decision, just complete curveballs, things that we did not plan for coming up. And yeah, but also, I mean, many of us may be feeling this on a very internal level, because Pluto transits, when working with them, it involves isolation. It involves kind of like pulling your energy backwards and going within and really uncovering and understanding what is going on within, like what's coming up from the subconscious, what's hidden in the shadows. And it's gonna be getting illuminated. We're gonna be faced with a lot of hidden truths. And at this time, so there's a couple different ways to deal with like a, what's the word? It's like, in homeopathy, there's an anecdote. And so there's a couple different ways to deal with Plutonic energy. So when we look at Pluto, we look at Scorpio. And so the opposite of Scorpio is Taurus. And so whenever we are feeling just like this heavy intensity of just being like almost like drowning in the depths and just going into all of these heavy emotions, spite, guilt, shame, anger, whenever we feel just like this overwhelming sense of like possible like doom, or just like we're feeling like something is just about to pop off, or like something awful is on the verge of happening, we want to move into the Taurus energy. And so that's anything that we can experience with our senses. And so anything that we can see, like making sure our environment is beautiful, like sun gazing, grounding, touching the earth, smelling flowers. One moment, this light. But so yeah, like touching the earth, smelling flowers, feeling like just really nice, like fabrics just wrapped around, anything that indulges your senses. That's what we want to be moving into whenever we feel just a lot of Plutonic, Scorpionic energy. And so especially again, like if you have any fixed placements at the beginning degrees of the fixed signs or at the final degrees of the cardinal signs, this is like an anecdote to lean into. And so also when working with a lot of Plutonic energy, it's like in homeopathic medicine, it's like you use just like a tiny little bit of some sort of poison, because Pluto is poison. So you just use a tiny little bit of it. Like if you get like how they have like anecdotes for snake bites, and it's actually like snake venom, but just a tiny amount of it. And then you're using that. So it's like working with things that are ruled by Pluto. So like psychology, like going into therapy. It could be also like occults, like modalities of the occult. Astrology is Plutonic. Past life regression, dream work, kind of dream work. But like anything that's allowing you to go deeper past your conscious mind and into the subconscious to really understand what is going on within at a deeper level. I mean, but it's like not going too much into that, not getting lost into that, because there's gonna be like, I feel like things are gonna be getting really heavy when Pluto is creating this fixed cross with Mars and the nodes in mid-May. But again, this is a very powerful time to be clearing karma. I think that's really like the most important thing right now. So clearing karma, and also just be aware of these transformations that are taking place within your chart. So it's like, what house is Capricorn in within your chart? What house is Aquarius in? Because like personally for myself, I feel like I have cleared so much family karma ancestral karma over that final bit of Pluto in Capricorn. And these are going to be themes that we're going back to, because Pluto is going to keep going back and forth for a little while. And so these are themes that we're going to continue to understand at a deeper level. And then as soon as Pluto entered into my 5th house, I'm already seeing like the way that I express myself is changing, the way that I'm like, the way that I just connect with others and have fun and express myself, and like hobbies, passions. It's only been a couple weeks, but I'm already seeing so much transformation happening within my life and in those areas. And so really be aware, be present and aware when we're working with Pluto energy, and when we're surrendering to that transformation. It does take a great deal of pulling the energy within, of going within, of isolation to a certain extent. And not even to say like isolating yourself from the world, but it's like, if you usually in your free time enjoy, because this is something that I've also been experiencing, is like, instead of consuming a lot of information, because usually like my mind is just always wanting to receive information as I'm doing things, I'm just listening to music because I want to keep my channel clear of what I'm receiving, of the information I'm receiving. I want my information to be coming from within myself right now. Regarding these astrological transits, I usually listen to a lot of different astrologers and different opinions, but right now I really just want to understand what it is that because 5th house, hobbies, astrology is a hobby of mine, and I just want to experience it at a deeper level right now. And so I'm being called to isolate my energy in a way. And sorry, I don't know if you can like hear this barking in the background. I have the door open because it's a beautiful day. So there's 3 levels to a Pluto transit. It's the physical, what transforms within our physical environment, material manifestations, psychological. How are these changes happening within ourselves? What are we feeling? What is our mood? What's taking up our real estate within our mind? And then also spiritual. There's a 100% chance that with every Pluto transit, there's going to be a massive spiritual transformation that's taking place. And we're transforming right now. So much is being reworked within our society. So let's kind of talk about Aquarius a little bit. Aquarius it's like decentralized systems. And so it's like our neurological system. So we want to be taking care of that right now. What are things that we can do to soothe our neurological system is things that calm our nerves, like nervines, connecting with nature. So herbs like lavender, chamomile, lemon balm, just smelling flowers in general. So again, going back to those Taurus things, what can we do to just experience life through our senses? And so also like other things that we can do to soothe our nervous system would be like walks, like consistent walks. Just looking out at the stars. Looking out at the stars is like some real serious Pluto medicine, because Pluto is just so far out there. And for such a long time, astrologers, astronomers looked up at the stars and they just looked into the depths. And that's what's so interesting too, and kind of going into that spiral that's happening as we go deeper into ourselves. We're also like elevating higher. It's like as we look out into the world, as above so below, as we look out into the world, like really into the depths of what is beyond what we're able to see, then that's when we're able to go beyond the depths of what we're able to see within ourselves as well. So what else has to do with Aquarius? It's like technology. We're going to be seeing a big transformation in technology over the next 20 years, which isn't surprising to understand, like to believe, because we've already been immersed in this very crazy technological evolution. But where we are going to see big shifts is, okay, Pharaoh's in trouble. But so technology has been contributing to this quickening of our reality. And so it's like before, for example, if I wanted to release information before in this way that I'm doing now, I would have had to go out and find a publisher. I would have had to just do all of these different things, find someone who can distribute my information, whether it's like a newspaper or a magazine. And that could have taken weeks or even months. But now it's like I have this information that I want to share and I can just easily upload it to my phone and get it right on the internet. And so because of that, it's like freeing up my time, but also it's like connecting us into this greater expansion of possibilities within the quantum field. It's like there's just so many, the amount of possibilities are just like multiplying. And it's crazy because it's like there's already infinite possibilities. How is that multiplying? But it's like time is going to feel like it is going so fast. And I mean, we have a lot of Aries energy. Time is like, it's like Pluto first entered into the sign of Aquarius and it coincided with Aries season. And so it's hard to understand exactly, but so it's hard to understand fully where this acceleration of time is coming from right now. Is it Aries season or is it Pluto moving into Aquarius? I think we're going to see that time is like spinning like a tornado. And it's funny how we've been, well, it's not funny, but like we've also been seeing so many tornadoes happening. I did not realize until a few days after Pluto entering into the sign of Aquarius, I didn't realize how grounding Pluto in Capricorn was or is. And so it's important to really stay grounded during this transformation. And that is like, because time is just going to be, it's almost going to feel like we are swept in this tornado, in this wormhole, this like a wormhole where it's like we're just swept up and we're in it, and it's hard to stay grounded. It's hard to plant our feet. And so again, this is going into that anecdote of moving into Taurus kind of energy to stay grounded throughout this transit. What else about Aquarius? So, I mean, this is where we are going to see the shift go from the top-down structures within our society, the hierarchies, the governments, the institutions, and we're going to be bringing our focus to humanity. How can we support humanity right now? What does humanity need? Not so much as how can we support the governments? What do our governments need? What do our financial institutions need? No, what does humanity need to evolve and to thrive in this? And so wherever Pluto is in the chart, it's like, it's almost like this desire to control, but in a way it's like what we want to control ends up controlling us. But so there's gonna be this strengthening of power, external power exerted over on the people. And so it's like these occult forces, hidden forces in our governments and the hidden societies, they're going to be wanting to control humanity even more. And so along with that, humanity is going to be wanting freedom, wanting liberation. There's going to be revolutions. We are already seeing that. We're seeing revolutions in France, in Israel. It's only a matter of time before all over the world. I mean, we're already seeing tensions all over the world, but like fire in the streets, like revolutions, like what happened when Pluto was in Aquarius back in the 1778, when Pluto was in Aquarius back then. And that was when we saw all of this reworking happening because of the forces that were trying to exert control and power over the people. This is where we are going to see the people take this power back. But it's going to be a process. This is a 20-year transit. And so it's not like it's all going to happen when Pluto first enters into the sign of Aquarius for the few months now. And likely it might not happen in 2024 when Pluto is there for 9 months in Aquarius. But this is going to be something that gradually happens over time. There's also like this, there's going to be certain things that people just won't be needed for anymore. And there's going to be a bigger focus on AI. And that again is going to lead to this acceleration of time, this expansion of potentials within the quantum realm. Aquarius is like the ethers, it's like the airwaves. And so that's things like Wi-Fi, like 5G, all of these things that we can't see that our technology runs off of. Like these are areas that we're going to be seeing transform. And also, I think there's going to be a big question of How are these technologies impacting our bodies? How is my body impacted by this technology? Because there have already been studies out for so long about Wi-Fi impacting the human body, about all of these just radiation that we're immersed in. But I mean, we're going to be evolving along with it. Pluto has to do with the DNA. Our DNA is going to be shifting. And yeah, it's really crazy to imagine what the world might look like in 20 years at the end of this Pluto transit. And that's another thing about what's happening right now is within this transformation, it's like these choices that we're making right now, because going back to the North Node and the South Node, we keep ourselves locked into our karma through our choices and the decisions that we make. And so this is a very karmic, very fated transit that's taking place this year. As Pluto is square the nodes, as the Pluto, the co-dispositors of the South Node in Scorpio, Mars and Pluto, they're going to be square one another, and they're just going to be transforming all of the Plutonian, all of the Scorpionic themes within ourselves, within our society, all of these hidden aspects, all of these things that have been operating hidden in the shadows. These are big areas that are going to be transforming. Our karma is going to be transforming, and we change our karma through our choices. And so it's like, as we go about our day, we keep ourselves locked into our karmic past. We keep ourselves locked into like the chains of our ancestors by the choices that we make. So right now, we really have the ability to free ourselves from karma. And it comes down to the choices that we're going to make right now. And so it's just so important to be very present, be very aware, and to just be conscious right now, because there's a big shift of energy that is taking place. And it's like, so I'm kind of seeing it as entering into a portal. It's like we have all of these portals. So when I was doing a lot of past life regression sessions, there were always portals that people would see. And they're just doorways. They're doors. You enter into it. So you're in a certain area, you enter through the door, and you're somewhere completely different. And so these portals, they're in our minds. Like there's portals all within our reality, within our environment, that we're able to just walk through and like really create a big quantum shift in our lives, in our realities. Like things are going to be changing so fast. And so it's really important to stay grounded, stay aware, and stay conscious throughout these changes and transformation that's taking place right now. Things are going to be transforming and changing whether we want them to or not. And so if we want to really take advantage of this energy and to change our lives in a way that we desire to be changing our lives, we have to be grounded, we have to be conscious, we have to be aware, and we have to be paying attention to ourselves and really listening within. We have to be paying attention to our heart right now. And that's the thing about the Aquarius Leo axis. Leo is the heart and Aquarius is the mind. And so there's going to be this overemphasis, this big focus on the mind right now. And with Pluto there, wherever Pluto goes in the chart, it's like that's what we want to control. But we have to release control of our mind. And in order to do that, we have to surrender into our heart. And so how can we shift our focus from our mind into our heart? Connecting through the senses. Things that tap us into the present moment through what we touch, what we smell, what we taste, what we see. Everything that ignites our senses can tap us, can ground us into the present moment, and that's going to ground us into our body and into our heart. Yeah, like we want to be moving into our heart right now because there's going to be a big focus on the mind. And so that's another thing, like going back to the neurological system being ruled by Aquarius. So like be aware of your mind right now, and like if it feels like there's just like a lot going on, like short circuit, like there's just like so much powering or like firing within the mind right now, ground, be present, breathe, like really like surrender into your breath. And pay attention to any planets. Like if you have your rising sign, your descendant, your midheaven, your sun, moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, even Saturn, Jupiter. If you have any of these planets within the first degrees of these fixed signs right now, like from 0 to 2 degrees, because it's not going to be until like 2025 when Pluto first makes it to, in 2023, Pluto's only going to get to 0 degrees and 22 minutes of Aquarius. 2024, it's going to be getting to 2 degrees and 6 minutes of Aquarius. So it's not until 2025 when Pluto will first reach 3 degrees and 50 minutes, almost 4 degrees. So really, for the next couple of years, it's just going to be those initial beginning signs of Aquarius where we're really going to be feeling like if you have planets there, placements, you'll be feeling this energy on a more personal level. So pay attention to that in your chart. And also, if you want to just reflect and look back, if you have had any placements in Capricorn that was impacted by Pluto, look into that and see like what changed in your life as this was happening. Whenever we are impacted personally by big Pluto transits, we can also look to what house Pluto rules within our chart, because that's where we're going to be seeing these cycles like constantly changing, constantly evolving as we go on through our life. And also, so be aware also if you have any planets that are going to be creating trines with Pluto and Aquarius. So if you have any air signs, so if you have anything within like 0 to 2 degrees of Libra, 0 to 2 degrees of Gemini, pay attention to that, because then you're going to be getting harmonious aspects with Pluto. It would be Aries and Sagittarius if you're going to be having any like sextiles, any harmonious placements right now. So pay attention if you have anything from like 0 to 2 degrees of Sagittarius, of Aries, of Gemini, and of Libra, because you're going to be getting these aspects to your own personal chart, but they're going to be in a more harmonious way. Like you're going to be knowing what you need to transform. You're going to be leaning into the transformations taking place. Also, so I think that's about everything I wanted to say about Pluto at this time. And so obviously this is an energy that's going to continue to develop and unfold over the next 20 years, really. And so this is definitely an energy that we're going to want to understand how to work with, so that we can transform ourselves on a very deep level. Because whenever there's transformation involved with, like whenever Pluto is involved with transformations, it's going to last forever. It's lasting transformations. And so there's just so much alchemy that's taking place right now. There's so much being reworked, and there's just so much opportunity to really work with this energy in order to transform our lives, to transform ourselves, to clear karma, Pluto is so magnetic. And so that's another medicine, is attracting whatever we want. But also if there's things that we don't want, magnets work both ways. They can repel things too. And so, Pluto is something that is really one of my favorite energies to work with. So I think I'm actually going to add Pluto specific readings to my website. Pluto specific readings that I'm going to be adding to my website will be focusing on the natal Pluto and really where our power lies and how we can unlock our power. And then also it's going to be focusing on whatever transits the Pluto may be making over the next however many years, so that we can prepare ourselves, so that we can transform, and so that we can really harness and work with this energy. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Feels good to be back. And I do plan on making more. Do you hear Pharaoh whimpering? I don't know why he sounds like that sometimes. But I'm back now, and it was a really healing and karmic clearing last couple of weeks that I have had with family. And so, yeah, I'm just sending you so much love. Again, I appreciate you all so much for watching my videos, for sharing, for commenting, for liking, and also booking readings with me. I appreciate it so much. So thank you so much, and we will talk next time.